Principal Sir Dr. V. Narayan Rao Garu, respected in-charge Principal Sri E. Varaprasad Sir, and convener of the today national level seminar Dr. Seva Prakash Garu, and participants across the country. A warm welcome to all of you. I, Dr. Mazhar, Director PG Center, with utmost honor, invite today's resource person, the esteemed personality, Professor V. Krishnamohan Sir, Registrar, Andhra University, for today national level seminar on changing dimensions of business environment in COVID-19 era, strategies for formulation and implementation. Before we start the session, it's my pleasure to present a brief profile of resource person. Dr. V. Krishnamohan Sir is a professor in the Department of Commerce and Management, Andhra University. Having total teaching experience of 33 years, he is a specialist in teaching marketing core areas for MBA and MCOM students. He did FDP of 1 year in marketing from IIM Ahmedabad. He has rich research experience profile of having published 8 books, several lessons to MBA distance course. He got 56 research papers and research reports, as well as guided 40 research students, leading to the award of PhD. He organized 6 national level seminars, 3 workshops, and 20 training programs. He served many designations as Deputy Coordinator of Special Assistance Program of UGC, New Delhi. He served as a member of Central Purchase Committee of Andhra University. He served as a Joint Director of MBA Distance Education Program. He represented All India Vayu Sainik Camp at Bangalore. Professor V. Krishnamohan Sir also served as a Registrar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, on deputation for 6.5 years. As a Registrar, he initiated several measurements in the university for improving academic and administrative systems, like initiating biometric attendance for academic and teaching and non-teaching. He initiated different proposals to government of AP and has got a sanction amount of rupees 35 crores from the government of Andhra Pradesh. The another feather in his cap was he was a state best teacher awardee. Now I request Professor Krishnamohan Sir to start his presentation for the second technical session. Now it's over to Professor Krishnamohan Sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to hear introduction of me. It is rather I consider as an opportunity to interact with the participants who are registered in this webinar. I'm so grateful to the college management as well as the organizers of the program in providing an opportunity to interact and share some of my thoughts on the subject. COVID-19 pandemic impact on business environment, how it is going to reshape the environment, and what is its impact on various businesses, and what are the key issues that one can highlight in the context of today's pandemic situation, and what will happen to various sectors which exist within the broad environment of business, and how these sectors are going to face challenges. Some of them face opportunities also, and both threats and opportunities are to be viewed when we analyze the environment of business which has reshaped today's business organizations. And towards the last part, not only giving you the key discussion points on which one can have a comprehensive view of impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the emerging dynamic environment of the business. It is still evolving. We are not sure what is going to happen, what is there in the stock. But at present, we are facing tough situation in various businesses, in various sectors of economy, all over the globe, all over the governments realized that pandemic situation of the day is going to push economies into recession all over the world. Every economy, to some extent or other, definitely face adverse situation as a result of changed environment in which business environment is a part. Definitely, the impact on economy invariably leads to set of variables which are going to cause an impact on business environment, the way we do business, the way the organizations are going to plan for redesign, reshaping for its survival and future growth prospects if COVID-19 pandemic situation continues to exist few more months to come. What alternative business models, business systems, business processes, and what type of reorientation is necessary, how we can formulate strategies, redesign strategies, reorient ourselves, and how scarce resources are to be used for survival in some sectors, and in those sectors where there is abundant opportunity because of the crisis situation, how you are going to divert resources from unproductive productive areas are many issues that we are going to cover in today's 1 hour session. And in the beginning, as a backdrop to examine what is the impact of COVID-19 on business environment. When we say business environment, the environment of a business has two variables. That is what we have learned in our studies. Those two set of variables, they are branded by economists as endogenous variables and exogenous variables. When we say these endogenous, exogenous variables, which comprises of environment of business, every business, as we understand, exists only in a defined environmental conditions. And any plan that we initiate, any strategy that we formulate, any new systems that we evolve, any new tool or techniques that we employ to face the situation is definitely as a consequence of changed environment. Environment per se is shaping, reshaping everything of the business. So the business need to first understand how the environment is going to create challenges, in some cases threats, and also create opportunities in some areas. And a realistic view of those variables, those forces, those factors, those driving and restraining forces definitely operate upon businesses. When we say business, business may be in various sectors. All these sectors definitely will have businesses. Primarily, we consider India, country like India, predominantly depends on agriculture, and there are certain countries completely depend, in contrast to agriculture, manufacturing sector, and how economies which are predominantly agriculture based are impacted by the changed business environment is one point. And the impact caused on agriculture is totally different from the impact caused or created on manufacturing sector is totally different. That is how today food industry is impacted. how automobile industry is impacted is totally different. Similarly, apart from these two primary sectors, the third most dynamic, emerging, ever evolving, highly creative sector is service sector. The service sector definitely is a happening sector all over the world market. Whether you fall into agriculture, manufacturing, or service, today's changed environment of business is going to shape and reshape the business plans, business strategies, business survival, business success, even impacting businesses beyond recovery in some cases. This is the utmost threat anybody can visualize. But there is a consensus that COVID, apart from implications for people health, which is immediate concern, significantly impacting businesses and the economies all over the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought undoubtedly fast-moving and unexpected variables onto the surface as a part of environment of business. These environment of business, as I said earlier, can be categorized into external environment and internal environment. Today, everybody would think it is because of economic recession only. The businesses need to reorient, redesign, and prepare plans for survival, change its policies. It is only partial. It is not only economic impact. As everybody visualizes, business can never survive only in economic environment. When we say environment of business, equally important, the emerging social environment, political environment, technological environment, legal environment. These are all important. When we see today, the social environment is changed so much. The consumer behavior has undergone a sea change. That is one reason why, because of this pandemic situation, there is a paradigm shift in business. The way business organizations doing their business in terms of their plans, strategies, policies, visualization of opportunities and threat is totally changed. So the world economies are on the definitely cusp of economic recession, as the business operations across the world markets are already suspended in many markets. If we examine the stock market operations, the indices of stock market, if you take India, whether it is NSE, BSE, or the indicators in financial markets, definitely all of them are so much lower. The prices of company stock has touched the bottom rock. Even more than half of the net worth of companies, they are gone because of the fear of economic recession. And some people are comparing today's economic recession soon going to be after Second World War, Great Depression is the situation. But what we observe today, there is less money in circulation because majority of the people, they are out of employment. Those who are in employment, they need to lower their salaries. There is no purchasing power. Therefore, when there is no purchasing power, the ability to buy is the basis for creation of demand in the market. As all of you know, as a business management student, unless there is a demand, unless there is a stimulated demand, manufacturing never occurs. William J. Stanton, who is marketing guru, he tells that unless somebody sells something, nothing happens in the economy. But who will sell anything when there is no buying power? And who will manufacture anything when there is no demand in the marketplace? So for everything, demand is the basis, demand is the consideration. Demand assessment can be considered as the foundation for planning every activity of the organization in any business. Demand is again of two types. There may not be only straight demand reduction. Suppose because of the pandemic situation today, there is no demand for automobile, there is no demand for two-wheelers or four-wheelers, there is no demand for electronic gadgets, there is no demand for ready-made textiles, there is no demand for jewelry, there is no demand for high-end products. People may think all these are not necessary only to survive in today's pandemic situation. But how these companies are going to survive when they stopped and because of the consecutive 4 lockdowns, many of the business organizations, they came to a standstill in terms of manufacturing, except very essential companies, those which are engaged in medical field, etc. There is an exception. But all other manufacturing business organizations, they stopped their manufacturing activity. As a result, what happened? It has led to unemployment. It has led to, piling up of stocks already produced and cancellation of orders for even routine daily supplies to the industry, and expansion plans, they are kept on hold. Can you imagine the worst affected business organization, as all of us aware, aviation industry, air transportation, because of the severe restrictions all over the world to move from one place to another place. So 90% of airline industries all over the world, they suffered to the greatest extent. As a result, the airline industries which ordered additional planes with companies like Boeing, they either requested delay the delivery if it is already processed and ready for delivery, the aircrafts, or postponed deliveries, or cancellation of orders. Similarly, when there is no airline industry, I need not tell you, there is no demand for tourism. When there is no travel, there is no tourism. When there is no tourism, there is no demand for accommodation. When there is no demand for accommodation, there is no demand for food. There is no demand for, any of the sightseeing programs or packages offered by any of these tourist destinations. When there is no demand for tourism destinations, tourism activities, there is no demand for guides. So see how demand for one particular product has influenced lack of demand in many other areas or sectors is the present situation and the current scenario. If you examine only in transportation, like rail or road or air, when there is no transportation, definitely the insurance business suffers, the banking business suffers, and the employment created in these sectors is going to become minimal when there is no movement of vehicles and the goods cannot be transported. The whole supply chain management systems are going to come to a standstill stage. As a result, this is going to create, lack of demand both in direct and indirect categories of products and services. This is known as direct demand or straight demand and derived demand. Demand for one product leads to demand for many other products. Suppose today the textile industry is suffering a lot. You may think that people who intend to buy are not buying because of fear. Along with the deliveries of textiles, there may be coronavirus too. Therefore, let us postpone purchases. If everybody thinks that way, you may think that mere postponement of my purchase of pair of clothes will not affect economy. Is a wrong notion. Like you, if everybody feels that postponement of clothes, ready-mades, garments is done, there is no demand immediately to ready-made manufacturing business organizations, companies. And what these ready-made manufacturing units are going to do, definitely they retrench people. They say goodbye to employees and they don't put demand on fabric, and there is no demand for machinery, there is no demand for energy, there is no demand for transportation. This is how demand for one particular product will lead to creation of demand in many other businesses. If you take ready-mades, ready-made industry consumes fabric. Fabric manufacturer, mills need to produce, employing people. Mills cannot produce cloth without chemical treatment. There is a demand for chemicals, and there is demand for colors. There is demand for dyeing. There is demand for weaving. There is demand for printing. All these sectors are gone. You may think demand, lack of demand stops there. When there is no demand for fabric, the negative demand will not stop there. It is going to further fall demand in cotton. See, the spinning mills and the textile mills may not buy cotton. When there is no need for cotton, when they are not buying cotton, the farmers may face, difficulty in disposing of cotton already produced, or when there is no price in the market, when there is no demand, there may be a distress sale. It may become highly uneconomical. When there is no demand for cotton, the cycle will not stop there. And when there is no demand for cotton, the farmers are not going to put demand on seeds, demand on pesticides, demand on agricultural implements, demand on pump sets, demand for water, demand for electricity. This is how demand for one product will create opportunities of business in many areas. Now, what will happen if there is no demand? As all of you witnessed today, there is no demand in respect of many products, many services, many categories. As a result, the economy is going to face tough times ahead, is an understanding. This is not exclusive to one particular economy. The whole world economies are on the cusp of economic recession, as the business operations across the world markets are already suspended. Is one reason why people are worried that what is there in the stock in the near future. All economies are thinking, how do we handle situations is one important consideration as a part of analysis of business environment. If there is change in the business environment, and in today's situation, everybody is interpreting only negative aspects of those forces that are compressing the business and its survival. Leave aside the growth prospects. So the pandemic situation today undoubtedly will impact various sectors of the economy, as I explained. If you look at the financial markets. As I said, the stock market indices throughout the world, not only India, is the best example. Then today, I'm not denying the fact that it has created opportunities in certain industries. And if you look at food industry, both opportunity and a challenge. Today, fresh groceries, right? And cold storage demand is on the rise. To keep the food stock fresh and available till deliveries are made, in the place of physical, even there are organizations which are rendering online deliveries. And if you look at supply chain management systems in food industry, is totally changed now. And if you look at entertainment, and there are opportunities of gaming, new games, online, internet demand is completely on the rise. And if you look at higher education sector, instead of physical classes, now all organizations, all education institutions of higher learning, as well as even schools, they resorted to online teaching. We know how to live in complete adverse environment of the day. Government rules, regulations do not permit people to sit in class and take physical classes. In the absence of physical classes today, there is demand for, IT and ITES, internet, related software packages, and higher speed and space required for conduct of classes by education institution is a great opportunity. And similarly, the service industry, the delivery systems, the basic principles of delivery system has undergone change. And if you look at the healthcare industry, I need not tell you, today healthcare industry, as everybody visualized, is a great opportunity. But at the same time, the nursing homes, private hospitals, corporate hospitals, they are not allowed to treat even simple diseases. So they are all regulated. So what is required today is not simple hospitals. Hospital need to be redesigned into smart hospitals. If you are a smart hospital, definitely you have an opportunity. Similarly, when people are confined to only homes, there is demand for well-being. That is how yesterday International Yoga Day was celebrated, and linked such yoga practices, yoga therapies, to improve immunity system with an aim to prevent disease instead of curing diseases. So this is also a great opportunity. And the healthcare industry, the hygiene industry, today people who are not accustomed to hand wash, they are made to wash hands with different sanitizers, liquid soaps. All of a sudden, there is a jump in the demand by several times, even in Indian context, because of the, today's concern to keep away the coronavirus. And these are healthy practices advocated by the government departments in preventing, exposure to such a virus that is going to create health problems on the individual. And we have great demand in spite of this lockdown. All electrical appliances today, they are out of stock, because on one side, these electrical appliances, they are needed, much needed. Therefore, whatever stock available already sold, whereas new demand cannot be met because there are severe restrictions on the use of workers, and companies are not allowed to manufacture products following the usual norms. Rather, severe conditions which are prescribed as a basis for accepting manufacturing activity in these non-essential items led to, a great reduction in the manufacturing capacity. Now everybody is thinking about how do we survive. All businesses, they are looking at office cost reduction. How do we reduce cost? How do we survive? That is how in software industry, not only in India, all over the world, the economy, the companies, they started bargaining with those employees, voluntarily lower or postponement of perks and benefits at a later date. All these are, methods and systems and strategies, innovative methods adopted with a view to reduce cost is a, prerequisite for survival and growth as a part of today's environment of the business. If you look at business environment per se, business environment, as I said earlier, comprises of both internal and external. And normally we used to believe that external environmental factors are not within the reach of the management in managing. When it comes to maneuverability of those variables, least is possible. When it comes to internal variables, it is presumed that the management will have a say, will have maneuverability of those internal variables. But today, the internal variables have become external. We are not able to adjust to the COVID rules and regulations. And although your employees are internal, your employees, when they are living in containment zones, red zones, orange zones, there is no free movement of resources, human resource. Unless human resource is fully available, we cannot gear up to full production. Therefore, companies all over the world, the best companies, even Fortune 500 companies at global level, they are suffering. They suffered a lot. And except certain, definitely, companies like healthcare, education online, entertainment, gaming, these are opportunities for growth. But given the impact on business environment, the challenges thrown open to several of the business organizations, when compared to opportunities, they are more. Therefore, the key points that one can discuss: how do we face the macroeconomic prospect of economies all over the world, including Indian economy? Then what is the impact on agriculture, as I said in the beginning, manufacturing, service sectors, both in short run and in the long run? It is not only in the short run, what we visualize, be it positive, be it negative side, how long it is going to survive, and what will happen if the same situation continues many more months to come, and what impact it will have in the short run as well as in the long run, and whether business organization can foresee any opportunity and prospect in favor of these three primary sectors that will emerge during the post-COVID-19 scenario. Once you overcome today's pandemic situation by September or so, even if people think that it survives till December, and what is there in stock beyond December to these business organizations, and the environment of business, how it is going to reshape the structure, the strategy, the policies, the functioning, the effectiveness, the productivity, and the bottom lines, the net result on the company is highly doubtful. Therefore, people are highly skeptical in visualizing future of these three primary sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and service sector. Now, what will be the role of technology? When we say business environment only economic environment. Although demand created both direct and indirect is part of economic environment that is going to form the basis for your survival and growth prospects. It is not only economic environment, as I said, you need to look at in today's perspective, what is the role that technology is going to play in shaping the business environment in post-COVID-19 period. How retail industry, what we see today, is completely online deliveries, online e-retailing, e-tailing. Even simple vegetables, fruits, they are delivered at home with proper sanitization and hygienist, clean deliveries are done, timely deliveries are done. Gradually what happened in the years to come, the customers all these years, they are resorting to conventional buying of physically going to a store and buying most of their requirements. Because of this COVID-19 situation where severe restrictions on movement on people is there, so people started understanding alternatives, exploring possibilities of buying online. You name any product today, it is available online. So even counseling is also done online. The medicine, which is considered to be, highly, expert services, physical presence is needed. A doctor's prescription and doctor diagnosing the disease, etc., can never be done online, or operation can never be done online. These are the limitations earlier we used to think, but today this COVID-19 pandemic situation has created abundant opportunities in medicine, medical services also to transform from physical to online is a wonderful opportunity. The technology has shaped the pharma industry, healthcare industry, wellness industry, counseling, etc., to a greater extent. So, how the technology is shaping business environment in the post-COVID-19 period, business organizations need to visualize. Then what type of skill sets, not the least, the most important aspect of business organization, because of the changed circumstances, changed environment, changed behavior of buyers in the market, which we say the basis for marketing success is understanding consumer behavior and estimating what he will buy, when he will buy, why he will buy, where he will buy, on what occasion he will buy, whether he buys quality, which is the concern, is it price or quality, and whether customer bargains after sale service, and what are warranties. All these are important. Earlier there used to be, apprehensions. If you buy consumer electronics, warranty is not available, after sale service is not available. But today I believe even split air conditioners, television of expensive nature, refrigerators, all of them are bought only online. If you look at Alibaba, if you look at Amazon, if you look at Flipkart, there are so many, e-retailing organizations, variety of products, range of products, which we never dreamt that it will be sold online. Whether they are uni-brand or multi-brand stores, they have started selling online. Even Ayurvedic medicine, homeopathic medicine, which is conventional, which is traditional, we thought, is also made online. So this is how the technology is going to definitely reshape, change basic rules of the business games, and business need to understand and invest on technology. Buying technology is not expenditure, and business organizations need to think buying technology and technology related products for improving manufacturing quality, delivery quality, creating value and delivering value to the buyers in the market is a part of their investment plan. So once you think any expenditure on technology and technology related product is only investment, such companies, such business organizations are going to reorient and survive near future. If you fail to absorb technology, if you do not understand technology usage, and in a technology driven future markets, today most of the markets are emerging as digital. You will be surprised to know it is not only stock market operations completely in the form of digital. Even in the West, there are universities which are completely virtual. There is no, physical location of such universities, but still the degrees offered by them, the courses offered by them are top level and recognized all over the world with the best instructors or the professors teaching these classes. That is how during the lockdown period, the students are advised to enroll in MOOCs courses, online courses. Most of them are offered either free of cost or throwaway price. And MHRD, UGC made elaborative arrangements. If you examine the SWAYAM platform, if you examine NPTEL, if you look at Coursera, if you look at Khan Academy, they are all going to give us what will be the future of education industry, how the education industry is going to change its basic paradigms, the processes, the principles, the delivery systems, everything is put to change. There is going to be a sea change in the basic models of business, how you are going to understand buyers in the market, what type of changed behavior pattern. Consumer behavior study is a prerequisite. Companies must be ready to invest heavily on market research. What are the abundant opportunities in a COVID-19 like situation prevails for a longer duration of period of time, and how our businesses are going to impact, how our businesses are going to thrive, what are the opportunities, what are the threats, what are my weaknesses in upgrading and living up to the expectations of changed customers of the day, how I can reorient, reorganize, reinvent, redesign, and create value. Whoever rises to the occasion, create value on the basis of environment analysis, be it economic analysis, political analysis, and technological analysis, definitely social environment analysis, because the behavior and the people who are using hitherto the traditional products, they need to change to high-tech products. People stop buying conventional modes. People started buying modern methods of buying. All these are dimensions. The consumer behavior is so complex. When a consumer is buying online, what are going to be his expectations? What are his negotiating points? And how he makes a comparison? What type of information is required to the buyer? And who are going to provide guidance? And if you say that I do not have access to software companies, software packages, ERPs, you cannot survive in the near future. Business organizations need to maintain not only, make their processes, systems, policies, procedures as a part of doing business compatible to the changing environment of the business. Especially, we are all living in a digital era. If digitalization is order of the day, if digitalization is the future environment of the business, if digitalization is required for transparency, if digitalization is required for accountability, if digitalization and use of computers is necessary for speedy delivery, and if digitalization and use of internet is necessary for taking feedback online live. If technology is required to create an interface with buyers, take situation online immediately. These are the areas where businesses need to upgrade and update on the use of technologies. If you fail to absorb technology, definitely the future is not yours in whatever business you are. It is required not only to hospitals, not only to education sector, be it agriculture, be it manufacturing of different types of variety of products. Everywhere there is a need and necessity of technology. How do we adopt such technologies? If not advanced use of robots, simple, moderate technology and its integration with your market research, with your manufacturing, with your creating value systems, with your deliveries, with your constant feedback mechanisms as a part of business need to be prime focus in a technology driven economy. Apart from economic background of people, the paying capacity, the willingness of the people, the more importantly, the future environment of business is going to be technology driven. We have seen different phases through which the technology has emerged and passing through. At one point of time, we understood BPO, business process outsourcing, has changed basic rules of the business. Then BPO has become KPO, knowledge process outsourcing. And that is where I think every organization started integrating with ERPs and converting organizations from physical to virtual. This is what we have learned in a course like strategic management. The future of business organizations, unless you integrate with technology, improve your systems, improve your procedures, improve your processes on a continuous basis, not on static basis, like Japanese firms do, like Chinese firms do. It is not periodic assessment. It should be dynamic, continuous assessment. That is how manufacturing systems need to be made flexible according to the demand in the market. If you produce and wait for sale, it is not going to be a reality in the near future. You have to necessarily resort to combining market demand with your manufacturing systems. That is how Japanese cost reduction strategy, like just-in-time approach, computer integrated manufacturing, machine learning, use of artificial intelligence in your industry, in any sector. It need not be use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and advanced tools and techniques, not only in manufacturing and use of robots, etc. Everywhere there is a scope. Even in service industry, use of robots employed in Bangalore, in a country like India, where we are not sophisticated technology users, but still, in restaurant for deliveries, for taking orders, when robots are used, the cost reduction, the precision with which we deliver quality, and innovative methods, doing the same thing in a different way by a business organization is required. Undoubtedly, the business is changing, but business environment do not mean only the socio-economic environment because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. I believe today, the teachers all over the world, they are tuned to teach online, which was not the practice earlier. How the teachers in no time has learned the technique of teaching online, creating video lessons, keeping them ready to the users all over the world. How the outreach has gone beyond their imagination. Teachers are also today living up to the expectations of the learners because of, direct interaction and feedback. when the session is in progress, on chat box, you may put push message, or immediately after this, you may give feedback. Accordingly, the revisions are made, reorientation is done, redesign is done, unless like how transformation took place from BPO to KPO to virtual organizations. In the years to come, in the months to come, probably whatever has happened due to COVID-19 has created an opportunity of learning. This learning definitely empowered business organizations, especially the employees who are constrained all these days because of the fearful considerations in their mind. They are aversive to adapt to the technology, but today the business environment has created a do or die situation. Only the performers will survive. In the near future, if you fail to adapt, the competition is going to take away, wash away to you. You reach you can never reach the shore, right? You are going to drown. One cannot, swim against the forces. You have to swim across the forces, understanding the dynamic environment, growing environment, like how Japanese do. Japanese are always proactive in adopting technology, inventing technology, and commercialization of technology by the business organizations. That is how, when technologically you are superior, the high precision industry, is thriving in Japan. Of course, in China also. That is how the learning curve effect because of the pandemic situation of COVID-19 in a developing country like India will have far-reaching implications. This is good in a way. We are going to improve. Now, if you make a comparison, who are your benchmarkers? The best in the world definitely are going to be our benchmarking companies. If you look at their healthy practices, good practices, because of today's situation, how are they surviving? What are they doing? How are they reorienting, redesigning themselves, and re-engineering, not reverse engineering, re-engineering themselves to reach the expectations of the people in the market. Whether you use technology or not, a customer is least bothered. But how far the products are designed, are compatible to the modern times, whether your products are in acceptable format of the global benchmarking standards or not, and what price you are selling, how you are going to reduce your cost. As I said, Japanese are very good in implementing just-in-time approach and use of, computer integrated manufacturing, use of robots, use of technology, automation. They are all buzzwords in Japanese industry and Chinese industry. Why can't Indian industry, in manufacturing industry, especially in automobile industry, if you think the more automation will lead to in the long run, in the short run, it may increase your budget outlay, but in the long run, the quality, the precision of the products that we produce definitely is going to increase, and the price is going to come down because of the large scale economies. So if you look at from that particular perspective, this pandemic situation not only created fears in the mind and threats in the mind and reduced activity, economic activity. We may temporarily fall into recession, but in the long run, because of the learning curve effect, I am hopeful that Indian industry is also going to rise to the occasion and try their best in improving the best practices, drawing from different, global level companies from all over the world. My understanding and sincere advice based on analysis of business and environment of the business, the components of business environment, which are already changed and which are changing, which are going to emerge. The business organizations, they are required to mobilize needed resources the human resource. Work from home was confined only to software companies earlier. But today, work from home is order of the day in almost all types of organization. How new system has evolved, how employees can work from home. To work from home, what are the new, rules and regulations? What technology is needed? What resources are necessary? How employees need to upgrade? What skill sets are needed? This is all very essential. You need to mobilize resources, especially the human resource. As all of you know, human resource is key input into any business. There is no business organization without human beings. Business organization is synonymous with the workforce. And when you are working in today's highly digitalized world, and all businesses are surviving in knowledge societies, in a technology-driven competition. If you fail to understand technology, upgrade technology, use technology, reorient yourself to the use of technology, in the near future, you will be lagging behind. You cannot face competition of people, competition of the best companies in the world markets. Therefore, the business environment today gives a lesson that one need to know how to mobilize appropriate resources and connect those resources, be it people, right people, after downsizing or upgrading the skills of existing people. If people are lacking orientation, provide orientation, give them impetus, motivation, morale, see that they are up to the mark, they are geared up to the expectations of your customer, and try to stabilize by resorting to such practices. First, how do I survive should be your focus. If there is no stabilization, nothing is going to remain. And how stability comes in a pandemic situation like COVID-19 environment of the business. People are not able to return to work because of pandemic situation, because of the severe restrictions on the movement of people. There is no public transportation till today. Every day I receive applications from employees. Sir, I am coming from 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers. Every day I am spending 300 to 500 rupees only on transportation. And moreover, I am crossing through several containment areas. There are severe restrictions on my movement. So please exempt me. Definitely it is, when I'm giving permission to such individuals, it is at the cost of work, productivity. How you visualize the future if these are the concessions given to employees. And in the name of these concessions, in the name of guidelines, in the name of containment areas, in the name of dangers that are there, which is a life threat, the virus, if everybody pleads, what will happen to the efficiency? What will happen to the cost economics of a company? What will happen to, if experienced staff are restrained to attend the duties? There is definitely a huge gap in every business organization. As a result, how we are going to plan people return to work and restore normalcy. Although it is not part of economic environment, it is a human dimension which is necessary. We cannot ignore human dimension also as a part of business environment, because there is no business without human resource. When human resource is a key resource, how do you ensure safety of human beings who are there in your organization? And how do you ensure hygiene? Hitherto, these are not, I don't say they are all neglected, but today, the precautionary measures that you are asked to take, you need to spend little more. You need to allocate higher amount of resources for hygiene, for sanitization, and for maintaining physical distance. And what type of machinery can be used? How space can be earmarked? If additional space is required, definitely it is going to cost additionally. So many companies, if you look at today, all over the world, successfully developed, incident management, what is known as incident management plans specific to this crisis, and are now looking ahead for a bright future ahead. The business environment, as everybody understand, is not only completely negative, and this business environment has thrown open certain challenges. And some people think that they are problems also, but these are not problems. These are all opportunities of learning. These are all opportunities of business. If difficulties are created in one sector and one area and one business, abundant opportunities are available in other sectors, is today's reality. And we are all going to work in a virtual reality, virtual organization. Although people cannot be virtual, but virtual people are also employed. Suppose when you are talking to a chat box, when your inquiries are attended online, it is not the real person who is going to respond. It is the machine that is going to respond. So how you are going to integrate such mechanisms, superior technologies that are going to make your product, your service with high precision, designed and delivered to the market with cost effectiveness, is going to be, the golden bottom line for your survival and growth prospects as a part of business environment which is emerging. As I said, environment of the business is dynamic. In a dynamic environment, ever evolving, you have to understand those basic forces that are driving and that are restraining. And what are those forces that are helping, that are facilitating our existence, our growth, our survival, need to be given adequate focus. At the same time, what are the forces which are present because of this pandemic situation operating against you in the opposite direction, need to be planned in such a way that they can be, either the impact can be minimized, if not completely eliminated, or planning can be done, strategies appropriate can be formulated in making your business running, surviving, and growing, not immediately, in the long run to come. So nothing to worry about the pandemic situation. If you analyze the business environment, although here and there more problems are prevalent, widely prevalent in all sectors, but these problems, I believe, temporary, momentary, which can be tactfully handled if companies got right plan, approach, strategy, model, and if not available internally, companies should not invest money in hiring, experts from outside, outsource in formulating plans and strategies such that the business organization is going to survive and to grow in the long run. Nothing to worry about. This is all what I wanted to share. Thank you for the opportunity. I wish all of you the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Any questions I can attend? Somebody is raising hand.
Sir, I will just clarify, sir. I will just identify. Sir is in the platform. If anybody want to ask any questions or queries, you can raise. I will once check out the chat box also, sir. Is there any questions?
Yeah, please check. I am unable to open the chat box. So some Rajiv Perli is raising hand.
But nothing was mentioned in the chat box, sir.
Yeah, no, they are saying only feedback. Very informative, excellent session, sir.
Yes, sir. The same was mentioned, sir. Like excellent.
All extemporary. Nothing I have. This is all because of my exposure to the general business environment. I have shared some of my thoughts. I don't know whether I am correct. To what extent people agree. I am of the teacher with great conviction. This is what I visualize. Nothing to be fearful anything that is going to come in front of you should be faced with all that boldness, like how individual faces in an adverse environment, a business organizations need to survive. And here I am glad to quote, first of all, you focus on your safety, and your business growth is not at the cost of your safety, as rightly, quoted, rightly given by JRD Tata. Forget about targets, forget about sales, forget about bottom lines, forget about your business survival. First, you should know how to survive so that you can think, once you are alive, all about other things. So I take the opportunity and advise all of you, be safe, stay home to the extent possible, maintain hygiene. Let us, avoid contact with COVID-19, and let us survive in the present context, so that the future we can think of the business growth and prospects only when we survive. This is also my humble submission to all the participants. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's our pleasure to have an association with you. We know that you are like an ocean with number of examples, and you have given excellent speech. It's an extempore speech, sir. Here, I am going to present a brief vote of thanks. Myself, Dr. Mazhar. At the outset, I extend my thanks to Professor V. Krishnamohan, sir, for his extempore speech on impact of COVID-19 on business organizations and the changing environment conditions. Sir explained different business how the business organizations has to visualize the situations of COVID-19. He also explored the skill set needed to face the present technologies and the present pandemic situations. And he also explained how the business organizations has to create technologies driven market. Sir focused on the changing paradigms of educational sector and how universities are adopting them. Simultaneously, sir suggested that marketing research should be done rigorously by the companies to analyze their opportunities to face this kind of situations. As digitalization is the art of business transactions nowadays, technology is required to face the customers. So business organizations has to upgrade their operations. These are the few points from the extempore speech of Professor Krishnamohan Garu. Once again, I feel happy and I'm very much privileged to present this formal vote of thanks to Professor Krishnamohan, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Shall we close, sir, now?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir. ఇది క్లోజ్ అయిపోయిందండి. ఇది క్లోజ్ అయిపోయిందండి. అంతేనా? క్లోజ్ అయిందా? ఇంకా మీటింగ్ లీవ్ అవ్వలేదు. నేను మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టి మాట్లాడు. I request to all the participants, today the present technical session has closed. Tomorrow we'll start the technical session at 10 o'clock. I request from the authorities of this national level seminar, tomorrow all of you join at 10 o'clock for the third technical session. Thank you.